Grandparents are now stepping up to help their grandchildren with distance learning, as parents, of course, have to work. Kristen Amico now with San Diego Oasis has a unique tip or two on how grandparents can help with tutoring. Good morning. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks so much for letting me be here. It's great to see you, Raul.
Okay, Kristen, everybody's kind of coming together trying to make all of this work. Older adults, grandparents, they're doing pretty well, too. Talk to me about it.
They are doing spectacularly. We actually have a group of 350 local volunteers who work with kids who are struggling with reading, and they actually work with them every single week, tutor them in reading so that they don't fall behind during the school year, and even in many cases catch up and go far beyond what we thought they could do. It's a really wonderful thing.
I mean, I think it's surprising for a lot of people they didn't have any choice and say, Grandma, Grandpa, can you help them out just for a little bit? And all of a sudden the kids just take, it's happening in our house. Our second grader, if he gets annoyed with mom, dad steps in, he gets annoyed with dad, but guess what? Pop comes over and it's like magic.
It is absolutely magic. And what's great is with the technology now, just like I'm talking to you from my home, we can actually have grandparents and volunteers connecting with children from anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country. So it's not even, does grandma and grandpa live down the street? It's, do they have access to the internet?
Right.
do they have a phone? And if so, they can help.
Are you finding older people are able to overcome their frustrations with technology? Because a lot of times that old stereotype of, grandma or grandpa couldn't set the VCR, that was in the 80s.
It is, and I think for all of us it can be a little frustrating. I don't think that's an age thing. And once they try it once or twice, what we find is that it gets to be a lot easier, just like all of us. Practice makes perfect, and the more they do it, the easier it becomes, and the more often they want to do it. Yeah.
I like how the relationship between the grandparents and the kids, because they start relating. It's like, oh my God, Grandpa used to be a little boy like me. Let's get to some of the tips we have, because it's important to tell them how you overcame difficulties as well when you were little, in terms of grandpa or grandma, right?
Absolutely. So really what we want people to do is just share that love that you have. Share the love of reading, share the love of math. If you are showing them that this can be fun and something to look forward to, then we want them to share that. And yeah, admitting when something is difficult or hard and that you can actually overcome it is vastly important. Yeah.
And that's where you say use your village, because then, grandpa, grandma can call in, mom can call in, dad can call in, even the older sister who kind of went through this a couple years ago.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Okay, let's talk about building your own skills while helping kids build theirs, because this is really interesting.
Absolutely. So what we find is that education isn't just a one-way street, right? Education moves both ways regardless of who you're talking about. So as the older adult, as the grandparent, practices their computer skills and even gets a little sharper in that elementary school math, the kid does too. And everybody gets a lot out of it. It's not just the education piece, it's the heart piece too. It's that emotional connection, it's knowing someone will be there, and just really connecting however you can do it, even if it's just online.
Yeah, you guys have an intergenerational tutoring program. Tell us about that.
We absolutely do. So as I said, we work with hundreds of volunteers throughout the San Diego area who connect with students who are struggling with reading. So what we want them to do is meet with this kid every week, work with them on their reading, teach them that love of literature, and propel them into the future. And this year, it's so much more important because kids have lost a lot of education this year. So we want to give them that boost up as much as we can.
Were you guys surprised that there are so many people out there willing to help kids that, it's not their grandkids, but they're willing to put themselves out there as a tutor?
Absolutely. Volunteerism is just such a beautiful thing, and it's surprising to me whenever anyone will devote their time and energy and get nothing in return except for that feeling of warmth and connection with another human being. And that's really what they're looking for here. These are some of the best people in the world with the best students in the world. San Diego is just absolutely America's finest, and so are our volunteers.
Yeah. So, my kid, the same 7-year-old that Grandpa helps, Grandpa said, what would be easier with this Chromebook? You should get a mouse connected to the computer so that you can have easier. And then my wife came over. She's trying to, you know what? You need a mouse. The 7-year-old looks at both of them, Kristen, and said, you guys, the Chromebook is a touchscreen. Look. And starts messing with What? Everybody's learning.
Education works both ways, right?
It's like you said.
Absolutely.
Everybody's learning. Kristen with San Diego Oasis, we thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
For more information on San Diego Oasis, you can go to fox5sandiego.com right now and click the Scene On tab. The touch screen, you know?